Let me ask you a question. What's the longest drive you've ever hit? Not your average, not normal, the absolute longest. Every golfer remembers that shot. Maybe it was 280, maybe it was 300, maybe it was the first and only time you've ever reached a certain number. But here's what's interesting. If you've already hit that drive, why don't you hit it all the time? Seriously, think about it. Because most golfers immediately assume the answer is, I need more speed, or I need better mechanics, or I need more flexibility. And sometimes that's true. But what if the real answer is something entirely different? Because today I'm going to show you why so many golfers lose distance the moment they step onto the golf course. And the reason has almost nothing to do with strength, almost nothing to do with speed, and far more to do with something most golfers never even think about. And near the end of this video, I'm going to show you the one question that instantly reveals whether a golfer truly trusts their distance or secretly protecting themselves from it. The two golfers inside every golfer. I think every golfer has two versions of themselves. The range golfer and the course golfer. We've talked about this before. They're completely different people. Let's start with the range golfer. Range golfer is confident. They're aggressive. The range golfer swings freely. They have no consequences. Miss one, who cares? Hit another. Push one, hit another. Hook one, hit another. No score, no penalty. No pressure, just golf. And because there are no consequences, the range golfer can be athletic. Now let's talk about the course golfer. The course golfer is different. The course golfer sees out of bounds. The course golfer sees water. You see score. The course golfer sees consequences, and suddenly something changes. Right before I shot this video, I was actually out playing in an outing. I've been hitting my driver a mile, slight draw, usually fade it, but I really focused this winter on proper mechanics. I was crushing my irons because of the mechanics and better contact, chipping well, and putting the same way I always do. I assumed I'd play my best golf ever, but from the first tee, I was a mess. I literally hit the top of the ball with the bottom of my driver. My irons were bad, chipping terrible for the first 5 or 6 holes. Thank God it was a scramble. But then I stopped and took a breath. I stopped thinking about all the mechanical changes and just went with my normal routine that had started working and remembered the feel. From there, the driver was carrying 270 to 285 and rolling out 290 to 300 plus. And that's actual numbers, not just me saying that I could do it. Iron contact was much better. Wedges were working well and putts went nicely. All because I just played my game. So the first tee experiment, let's do a thought experiment. Imagine you're on the range, no one watching, no consequences. You make your absolute best driver swing. Now imagine standing on the first tee of your club championship or an outing. Would you make the exact same swing? Most golfers laugh because they know the answer. No, of course not. They'd guide it, steer it, protect it, control it, and that's where distance starts disappearing. Not because the body forgot, but because the brain intervened. And this is where most golfers completely misunderstand speed training. So why doesn't speed automatically just show up? Let's say you gain 5 miles an hour. Fantastic. You should hit it farther. And on a launch monitor, you probably do. Then Saturday or Sunday arrives. Somehow the extra distance is just gone. Why? Because creating speed and trusting speed are different skills. Most golfers only train one of those. This is where I introduce a concept that I call trust gaps. And it's simple. Trust gaps are the difference between the speed you can create and the speed you can trust. Those numbers aren't always the same. In fact, for many golfers, they're very different. We've talked about this before. You've got golfer A. They can swing 110 miles an hour, but they only trust 100. Golfer B can swing 105 and trust 105. Who performs better? Most golfers immediately pick the wrong answer because golf isn't played at your potential. Golf is played at your trusted level. So if you can trust your speeds, trust your swing, you're going to do better. Now, what's the secret sabotage? Here's what makes this so difficult. Most golfers don't even know they're doing it. They aren't consciously thinking, I'm going to swing slower. Instead, they shorten the backswing, guide the club, steer the face, change tempo, change transition. The body starts protecting itself. The golfer thinks same swing, but it isn't. Now, over the last few weeks, I've been working with a buddy of mine. He really had a problem with his driver setup. He had speed already, but was almost too fast and didn't have the control. So we slowed it down, set up right. I taught him how I set up with the driver, and that got him to start trusting himself. He hit one good drive and went from there. He hit a second one, a third one. He outdrove me at one point, and he started feeling confidence. And the more confidence you feel, the more trust you have, the better you're going to be at golf. It's all about trusting yourself. Trust was the missing piece here, and it changed. We were out on a course. It changed the back nine. Now, why do better golfers look effortless? One thing I notice about good golfers, They don't always swing harder. Yeah, sometimes they will. They trust harder. There's a big difference. When they pick a shot, they commit to it. They visualize it. They pick a target. They commit to that. They know what they want to do. It's not always perfect. When they choose a club, they commit to it. They know their distances. The commitment allows speed to show up. Now, you can gain speed with mechanics changes, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about trusting our game, and this leads to the biggest mistake average golfers make: chasing more instead of trusting more. Most golfers think, I need more speed. Sometimes that's true, but often the first step isn't creating more, it's learning to access what's already there. That's a big piece of what I did this winter, going from an out to an in to an in to out swing. Because speed you don't trust is unusable, it's just potential. Potential doesn't lower scores. Usable distance lowers scores. And like I said, this winter I focused so much on mechanics. I used to have a nasty slice. Last year it was a fade. And right now, I'm hitting the ball, especially with my woods, pretty much straight, sometimes still getting a little fade, but a lot of times I'm starting to see a draw, which is pretty cool. And all that was me learning how to come in to out, make good contact with the ball. Realistically, that little bit of extra lag coming through is gaining me extra speed, and I can smash the ball now. I don't try to. It just happens with me trusting my swing. Remember the longest drive I asked you about at the beginning? That drive matters, not because of the number, but it proves something. It proves your body can already produce more than you're accessing. The question isn't, can you do it? The question is, can you trust it? The question is, why aren't you doing it? There's a reason for it. Your body can do it. So why do golfers lose distance on the course? Not because they suddenly get weaker, not because they forget how to swing, not because speed disappears. It's because trust disappears. And when trust disappears, speed often goes with it. Or you'll have the speed and you do a whole bunch of other things wrong. That's the trust gap. And if you learn to close that gap, you'll discover something surprising. A lot of the distance you've been chasing was already there. Comment down below, what's the biggest difference between your range swing and your core swing? Is it in your head or is it something you're doing? Because I have a feeling a lot of the golfers that we talk to are going to describe the exact same problem. If you haven't watched the rest of the Full Bag Framework series, go watch that next. It's going to be popping up now because that's where this system starts. And comment questions down below. We'll work on answering them on our next live. Remember, our goal is to help you in 2026 so that we can all play better, have more fun, and love the game again. See you next time.